Thank you for watching my presentation. I am Dr. Mary McGinnis, Assistant Professor of English at the College of Coastal Georgia, and I am one of CCGA's High Impact Practice Implementation Leaders. If you would like to see my slide deck, there's a QR code on the right. There's also a bit.ly link at the bottom. The title of my presentation is called But I Hate Group Work, Service Learning and Online Course Engagement. I chose this title because, in my experience, when I start talking about group work in the classroom, students' first response is, "But I hate group work. Can I do this on my own?" With that in mind, I wanted to do some research because group work benefits students, and that's why I do it. It's one of the USG's high impact practices, and it's something that we should all be incorporating into our classroom. The research shows that students benefit socially, psychologically, and academically from doing collaborative projects or group work. It's kind of like eating green beans. It's not something anyone wants to do, but it's good for you, so you should do it anyway. That said, doing online service learning during a pandemic provided a unique opportunity to see how students feel about online service learning group work. With that in mind, I created an IRB approved survey to find out how my students felt about their online service learning group work experience. Before I get started, let me tell you a little bit about the class. This was 3 sections of my English 1101 course in the fall 2020 semester. One course had a co-requisite section. The students completed 5 major projects that were compiled into an e-portfolio by the end of the semester. They completed a paper, a podcast, a web text, a service learning group project, and the Service Learning Symposium poster. To simulate real-world collaboration, I set D2L to auto-assign 4 members per student group. The result of this was that most students did not know each other and they all came from different backgrounds. So you had traditional college students and working parents and dual credit high school students from all over working together because this is an online course. So timing and collaboration emphasized a need to cooperate, compromise, and practice time management as students began their group work. To prepare students for the group work project, we went through several tasks. According to the survey, 90% of students felt they were prepared when they went into the online service learning project. Here is how I facilitated their preparedness. Student groups started out by meeting weekly in their Blackboard Collaborate Ultra meeting room. I set this room up. It's open the whole semester. The students can go in whenever they want, and they have access to the room. After each weekly meeting, they submitted minutes to record what happened, not only for me, but also for classmates who may not have been able to make it that day. In the minutes, they talked about what they did, who was there, who wasn't there, any tasks that were assigned, and plans for the next meeting as well as the meeting day and time of the next meeting. This was really essential. They also completed a group communication plan and contract, and the communication plan just contained all of the students' contact information, how they planned to contact each other, whether it was chat or text message or group chat or Snapchat or however they were going to do it, how often they were going to contact each other, and what days were best for their meetings. They also outlined expectations for each other and when they were going to notify me about problems. At the end of the contract, the students signed it, and this was an important step for them in learning to collaborate because they had to figure out how they were going to get 4 signatures on this document to submit it to me. The next thing that they did to help prepare them for the service learning project was to complete the project plan document, and I have an example of this on the right. There's a link at the bottom if you want to click on that so you can see it in more detail. This is the example project plan that I give students when they're setting up their own. So it's set up by week, and then each week is broken down by day. And on the left you see the dates. In the next column you see the meeting days and times so the students can set their own meetings ahead of time. And then in the middle, you see everything broken down by day, so the students can break up these tasks to make sure they have enough time to get everything completed that they need to for the service learning project. And then in the far column, this is the column that actually happened. So students submit this project plan before they do the group work, and then they submit it in after the group work, so we see what was planned and how things actually worked out. The students do 2 projects for the service learning component. There's the multimodal service learning deliverables and paper, and there is a service learning symposium poster. The deliverables and paper consist of whatever they create for their service learning partner. So it could be a brochure, a video, a slideshow. Sometimes it's screenshots of work that they did. The paper discusses the rhetorical decisions they made as a group as they composed these pieces for their service learning partner. I also allow them to submit other supporting documents like emails, if they want to talk about those, in their explanatory paper. The Service Learning Symposium poster is going to go in the Service Learning Symposium that we have every year here at CCGA, and these allow students to reflect on the service learning experience and practice rhetorical choices in visual design. Reflection and grading are the final component of the course that ties in with the service learning. So students complete group reflection memos, and these are submitted after the service learning experience as well as after the students complete the Service Learning Symposium poster, so they have 2 of those. The group reflection memos explain what tasks the students were completing. They discuss their own performance, they discuss their group mates' individual performances and rate them on a scale of 1 to 10. And then finally, they discuss the overall group performance and what they would do differently next time. So the idea is that when students complete the memo after the service learning piece, then they can take what they've learned and apply that as they work together to complete the Service Learning Symposium poster. Along with those activities, I included a statement in the syllabus with the group projects that stated, while this is a group project, students will be graded individually based on the project rubric, ratings from group members on the group reflection memo, and the project planning document. Students who earn less than 75% from group members will not earn higher than 75% on the group project. And this just helps ease students' concerns when it comes to group members who may not be participating. Now let's move into my survey. To recruit survey participants, I offered students 30 points towards their coursework grade. To get started with this, they submitted a signed consent or assent form, and if students didn't want to participate in the survey but they still wanted the extra credit, they could complete a short writing assignment. Once students submitted their consent or assent form, I sent them a link through Qualtrics that would de-identify their information. The survey contained about 40 questions that addressed demographic information, service learning, online courses, the students' service learning experience, and how COVID-19 affected their overall experience this semester. Of the 3 courses I taught, I had 31 students who took the survey. The respondents were mostly women, mostly white, and mostly college freshmen aged 18 to 21. Most respondents had taken an online course before, so that probably helped them be successful in my course, and 83% of the participants rated their participation in the service learning project as good or excellent. So these were mostly the higher performing students who were very concerned about their grade. Overall, my findings were positive. Students' responses about the pandemic were mixed. When asked if the pandemic affected their decision to enroll in my online course, 67% said that it did, a moderate amount to a great deal. However, only 37% of students reported being nervous about service learning during the pandemic. This low percentage of nervousness could be related to the fact that I was very clear that the project was virtual. However, I plan to address this question in future research to find out why this was so low. The respondents said that the best parts of the class were getting to know classmates, choosing their own community partner, and helping the community while getting credit for it. One thing that really helped with this was CCGA's Office of Service Learning. They have a really great website that contains a community partner clearinghouse, which has descriptions of community partners and their contact information, and that sometimes the types of projects that they need help with. So it was really easy for students to go through and pick a community partner that really fit with what they were looking to do. Something interesting that showed up in the data was that dual credit students valued getting to know classmates the most, whereas the college freshmen valued picking out their community partner the most. Here I'm going to present some of the statistics that came out in my survey. So the dark purples are agree, strongly agree, and somewhat agree. As you see on this slide, 87% of respondents agreed that they were happy to participate in service learning despite the pandemic, and 70% of students agreed that the service learning made the online course meaningful. Students respond positively to service learning even if there is a pandemic or if it's occurring in an online course, and this is something important to keep in mind. In addition, 87% of participants agreed that the online service learning project was a valuable experience. Further, when I filtered the data to students who rated their participation in the service learning project as average, good, or excellent, over 92% found the service learning experience to be valuable. This data shows that buy-in is important and that students who participate fully in service learning will get the most out of it. One of the goals of service learning is to strengthen bonds between students and their community. In my sample, 83% of respondents agreed that they felt like they were supporting their community while staying safe, and 77% felt more in touch with the community because of the service learning. And this is an online course, so that's, an interesting statistic. These findings are in accordance with other studies on service learning that found students develop feelings of civic responsibility through service learning activities. An important aspect of collaborative learning is that it helps students form a social support system. 90% of survey respondents said that they got to know some of their online classmates. And if you've ever been an online student, you know that that's a pretty outstanding statistic. In addition, 78% of students agreed that the online service learning experience helped them get to know their classmates more than in other online courses. This statistic reinforces that group work, even online group work, benefits students socially. 76% of respondents said that they learned skills for their future. In terms of workplace preparedness, 73% felt better prepared for group projects in the workplace, and 77% felt better prepared for working in a virtual environment. This illustrates that online group work helps students feel more prepared for the modern workplace. This is important because these types of assignments help students practice the skills that are wanted in the workplace. Employers are looking for people who are not only computer literate, but also have writing and public speaking skills, critical thinking and problem-solving skills, communication skills, and the ability to focus on details. The group service learning project gives students a heightened sense of the different choices they make while they compose and provides the opportunity for students to practice these skills that they'll use in their careers. Service learning also opens doors for students. 73% of the students who took my survey felt that they emerged from the service learning component with connections to professionals in our community. This could be crucial when they enter the job force. Of the skills learned, 97% of respondents agreed that they learned a new skill through online service learning. Skills that rated highest were collaboration, teamwork, project planning, and professional email skills. The dual credit high school students reported that they learned how to hold and attend a virtual meeting along with collaboration, and in contrast, the college freshmen rated collaboration and project planning highest. When asked what they would change about their online service learning experience, respondents said that they would have liked to have in-person meetings instead of virtual meetings, and that they'd change the way they manage their own time. Interestingly, it was the dual credit high school students who focused most on their time management, while the college freshmen were the ones who focused most on in-person meetings. Now that I've covered survey results, let's take a look at the service learning projects and what they look like. Here are some examples of digital projects students made for their community partners. There was a park improvement survey, memes, brochures, flyers, slideshow, an underwear drive, and revamping social media and audience outreach for the community partner. Our partners were Glenn County Public Works, Glenn County Animal Control, the Humane Societies of Camden County and of South Coastal Georgia, Safe Harbor, the Boys and Girls Club, New Point Partners, Inc., and the Farm at Oatland. Briefly, I'm going to show you a couple projects and some posters. On the left, you see a project which is a screenshot from an Instagram page where the student updated social media for the farm at Oatland North. This group added highlights, which are the little circles there, so if people are wanting to see about pigs, they can click the pig highlight story on this Instagram page and see all the pictures of pigs that are in the Instagram. They set the status as a nonprofit organization. They updated the description and contact information, as well as adding hashtags to photos to increase the farm's exposure. On the right, you see a flyer for the Altama Park improvements. These students found out that most people who use the park would like to add a pet area. In addition, they found out that people would like a playground, a pavilion, and benches added instead of a basketball court, grills, and picnic tables. This is a poster from one of the groups who completed a brochure for the Camden County Humane Society. As you see in the lower right-hand corner, they stated that they learned the importance of working with people they don't know, and they also learned different ways in which they can help people within our community. This poster here is from the group that worked with New Point Partnership, and they revamped their social media and audience outreach. So they updated the Facebook page to be a nonprofit so it could accept donations. They created a Giving Tuesday donation drive for New Point Partners. They made memes that they could use on the Facebook page to make sure that it stayed near the top of people's news feeds. And they also set up MailChimp so the New Point partners can send out mass emails. The community partner of this group was really thankful for all the work that the students did and actually sent me an email to praise them and talk about how important their work was. So in conclusion, students say that they hate group work, but my research shows that after completing group work, students do learn things and benefit from it. Group work is beneficial in many ways, especially when it's paired with service learning, even though it's online and during a pandemic. Another thing I learned from the survey, from the fill-in answers, is that professor engagement is just as important as student buy-in. Group work is hard, and it's important that as the professor, you provide as much support as you can. You need to break tasks up into small pieces, give extra feedback when you can, and really help the students understand that you're there to help them and that you want them to be successful. I plan to continue this research, and I hope to gain a more diverse demographic in future iterations of the survey. Thank you for watching my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it.